Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are diving into the real science behind fat-burning foods. We're going to cut through all that internet hype, look straight at the clinical data together, and discover how our metabolism actually ticks.
So, is there a magic fat-burning pill? I know, the multi-billion-dollar supplement industry desperately wants us to believe there is. But the resounding scientific answer? Yeah, it's a solid no. There is no magical, safe pill that's going to just melt away hundreds of calories while you're hanging out on the couch. But hey, don't let that bum you out, because what the science actually offers is way more powerful and honestly, far more sustainable.
Take it from registered dietitian Jerlyn Jones over at Healthline. As she brilliantly points out in our source material, sustainable health just isn't about extreme shortcuts or those heavily restrictive diets we see everywhere. It's really about making smart, targeted choices from literally every food group to optimize the biological engine you already have.
To get a handle on this, here's our roadmap for today. 1. The engine, which is the thermic effect of food. 2. The spark, looking at thermogenesis and stimulants. 3. The regulators, fueling the thyroid gland. 4. The hydration factor, the real truth about water. And finally, 5. Tools, not magic pills, for sustainable weight management.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1, the engine, the thermic effect of food.
Simply put, your body's engine literally has to burn fuel just to process the fuel you're putting into it. We call this the thermic effect of food, or TEF. You know, every single time you eat a meal, your digestive tract goes straight to work. Enzymes are deployed, nutrients are transported, the whole shebang. Think of it like a biological processing fee just for eating. All of this cellular labor takes energy. But here's where the science gets super fascinating. Not all macronutrients require the same amount of labor.
Just look at the stark, measurable contrast in how our bodies handle different nutrients. You're burning up to 30% of the calories in protein-rich foods just by digesting them. Compare that to a tiny 0 to 3% for dietary fats. Let's put that into perspective. If you eat 100 calories of pure protein, your body might only net 70 of those calories because it's spending 30 of them just breaking that protein down.
So by eating highly thermic foods, we're talking fatty fish, whole eggs, beans, and legumes, you are literally forcing your body to expend more energy. But it gets better. The research shows that digesting these specific foods also stimulates your fullness hormones like PYY and GLP-1, meaning you're cranking up your metabolic rate while simultaneously warding off hunger and overeating. It is honestly a massive biochemical win-win.
Moving right along to Section 2, the spark, thermogenesis and stimulants. Here are the thermogenic heavy hitters straight from the clinical data. We've got coffee, green and oolong teas, chili peppers, and MCT oil. Now, thermogenesis literally translates to heat production, and these specific foods and drinks contain compounds that trigger a rapid, temporary spike in your resting metabolic rate. MCT oil, for instance, is absolutely fascinating. Medium-chain triglycerides actually bypass normal fat digestion entirely. They zoom straight to the liver to be converted into quick, available energy, meaning they're way less likely to end up stored as body fat.
The actual chemistry driving all that heat really comes down to a few specific active compounds. It's the caffeine in your morning coffee, that powerful antioxidant EGCG found in green tea, and capsaicin, the stuff that gives chili peppers their fiery kick. Systematic reviews show that catechins like EGCG, especially in doses of around 100 to 300 milligrams, act as chemical triggers that actively help oxidize stored fat for energy.
Now hold on a second, because it's absolutely vital that we manage our expectations here. Yes, the effects are scientifically measurable, but they're incredibly modest. One systematic review in our sources found that green tea supplementation might increase your resting metabolic rate by roughly 40, maybe up to 260 extra calories a day, and that depends heavily on whether you're also lifting weights. So while a jalapeno pepper or a cup of green tea is definitely going to spark your metabolism, these effects are temporary. They absolutely won't outwork a poor diet.
Okay, Section 3, the regulators, fueling the thyroid gland.
There's this beautiful, really delicate biochemical partnership happening here that gets overlooked all the time. Look, everyone knows you need iodine for your thyroid, right? It's the literal physical building block for your T3 and T4 thyroid hormones. But, and this is a big but,
You absolutely must have selenium to actually activate those hormones. Selenium-dependent enzymes are the exact things that convert the inactive T4 into the metabolically active T3 hormone that really drives your resting metabolism.
The danger here really lies in imbalance. If you're consuming massive amounts of iodine, say from taking high-dose kelp supplements, without enough selenium to back it up, you're creating a physiological traffic jam. Producing thyroid hormone creates hydrogen peroxide, which is a reactive oxygen species. Selenium acts as the antioxidant to neutralize that stress. Without it, that excess iodine can actually trigger severe thyroid inflammation and even autoimmune conditions like Hashimoto's disease. Balance is literally everything here.
All right, on to Section 4, the hydration factor, the truth about water.
You've probably heard the classic advice that drinking water dramatically speeds up your metabolism. And well, the clinical data does show that drinking about 17 ounces, so 500 milliliters, of water can temporarily bump up your metabolic rate by up to 30%. This happens through a process called water-induced thermogenesis, and it usually peaks for about 30 to 40 minutes.
But let's look at the absolute numbers here, not just the flashy percentages. A 30% boost sounds massive, right? But it actually only translates to burning a super modest 4 to 8 extra calories per 8-ounce glass of cold water. Basically, your body expends a tiny amount of energy just warming that cold water up to your internal body temperature. So yeah, this thoroughly busts the myth that just chugging ice-cold water is some primary strategy for significant weight loss. Well, water actually does, and the reason it's so metabolically vital is provide the physical medium for all your cellular metabolic reactions. Heck, even a mild 1 to 2% drop in hydration can seriously impair your physical and cognitive performance. Plus, the data points to a really brilliant behavioral tool. Drinking 500 milliliters of water about 30 minutes before your meals significantly enhances satiety. It's a fantastic way to naturally reduce your overall caloric intake without feeling deprived. Which brings us to Section 5, Tools, Not Magic Pills. Sustainable weight management. Understanding how protein demands digestive energy, how compounds like EGC spark thermogenesis, how selenium protects your thyroid thermostat, and how water naturally supports your cellular engine, this is what actually empowers you. We aren't out here looking for a magic pill anymore. We are building a highly efficient metabolic machine. So my final question to you is this. Now that you know how your body truly processes energy, which of these science-backed metabolic tools are you going to start incorporating into your daily routine starting today? Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and keep learning.